Which is the highest position that somebody can vie for in Kenya today? That is the topic, ladies and gentlemen, that we'd like to discuss. But before we go into the details of it, allow me to introduce this channel. This is the LindaOgweno Political Show, where we train women about politics and the political processes in Kenya. We purpose to increase the number of women in politics, and for the ones who are engaging in politics as political candidates, to increase the number of successful ones, especially for women under the age of 35. So for you to go for the highest position in Kenya, which is the presidential seat, which requirements do you need to have? First, you need to be over 18 years of age. Secondly, you need to have registered as a voter in Kenya. You also need to be a Kenyan citizen by birth. Remember, ladies, that for the other position, you needed to be a Kenyan citizen at least 10 years from the date when you're going to vie for that seat that you had selected. But for presidency, you need to be a Kenyan citizen by birth. You shouldn't have had dual citizenship. And if you have dual citizenship, the legal processes for you to opt out should not be there. That means you can't opt out of your dual citizenship. You shouldn't align yourself or swear your allegiance to a foreign state. You should be a person of sound mind. You shouldn't have been declared bankrupt. You shouldn't be serving term or having been convicted at least 6 months to the date of elections. You should have a degree, a university degree from a recognized degree university in Kenya. Remember, ladies, currently in Kenya, this is the only position that requires you to have a degree. But I would encourage you, even if you'll be vying for the other positions, to have a degree, because laws do change in this country. And should this law change, it should find you equipped and ready to go for the position that you'd like to go for. The next requirement, if you are currently serving as a state officer, you should have resigned from your job. Not unless you're currently serving as a member of parliament or as a deputy president, or currently you're a president. At this juncture, allow me to mention that the requirements that someone needs to have to vie as a member of parliament are similar to the ones somebody requires to have when they're vying for presidency. It's only that for presidency, there are additional requirements. So if I were you, or I'd want to recommend to you to go and watch the episode where we discussed the requirements that somebody needs to have to vie as a member of parliament to fully equip you for your candidature. Remember as well that the requirements that you need to have as a deputy president are similar to those that you need to have as a president. So ladies, if you have been nominated to be a running mate, remember that the requirements that your presidential candidate will be needing is similar to yours. Equip yourself fully with that as well. The next requirement that you need to have to run for presidency is you should have decided if you're going to vie representing a political party or you're going to vie as an independent candidate. You should also be in good moral and ethical standing according to the Integrity and Leadership Act. You shouldn't have been found to have contravened Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya. You shouldn't have been removed out of office, or you shouldn't have been found to abuse office or contravene Article 75, 76, 77, and 78 of the Constitution of Kenya. And that also applies to those people who have been ousted out of office through an impeachment process. They will not be eligible to vie. So probably you have gone through all these requirements and you have ticked all the boxes and you have found yourself to be fit. Which documents do you need to have that now you're going to submit to IEBC? Remember, IEBC is the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission that is mandated with the responsibility of holding elections in Kenya. So which documents are you going to submit to IEBC? If you're vying representing a political party, one, you need to have a copy of your national ID or passport, depending on the document that you used when you're registering as a voter. You also need to have a passport photograph taken against a white background. You will be required to submit this passport photo both as a hard copy and as a soft copy. You also need to submit your political party nomination certificate that has been signed by the person responsible with signing nomination certificates in your political party. Remember, you need to verify that you have a university degree. So therefore, you'll be required to submit certified copy of your academic credentials. You will have to fill in the application form from IEBC to run as a president. Once you fill it in, submit it. Remember to also submit the code of conduct form. If you're vying as a president, you will be required to submit details of 2,000 registered voters in Kenya drawn from majority counties. This you will be required to submit both as a hard copy and as a soft copy. In case you're vying as an independent candidate, you need to submit a copy of your national ID or passport, depending on the documents that you used to register as a voter. Again, you will be required to submit a passport photograph against a white background, submitted both as a hard copy and as a soft copy. You will also have to verify that you actually went to a university by submitting certified copy of your academic credentials. You need to submit a list of 2,000 registered voters in Kenya drawn from majority counties. This as well, you will submit both as a soft copy and as a hard copy. You need to submit your symbol. Now that you're vying as an independent candidate, you need to submit a symbol that is going to be used against your name in the ballot paper. You also need to submit ORPP certificate. ORPP is the body in Kenya that is mandated with the responsibility of registering political party. So their certificate verifies that you're not a member of any political party. You will need also to submit details of your office at least 45 days from the date when elections are going to be held. This IEBC is going to use to verify your location and your physical address. Of course, you also need to submit the application form for being a president. Download it from IEBC website, fill it in, submit it back. Whether you're vying as a political candidate representing a party or you're vying as an independent candidate, you will also be required to submit a banker's check of Kenya shillings 100,000 drawn in the favor of IEBC. Remember, this figure is applicable for women, for youths, and for persons living with disability. Our male counterparts are required to draw a banker's check of Kenya shillings 200,000. Ladies, you can see that this figure is half and much lower. This is to encourage more of us to get in the political arena. Are we going to grab this opportunity and run for it? Allow me to remind you that Kenya has never had any female president. Do you dream that someday Kenya will be able to have its first female president? I do dream that that day will come to fruition. But I know it is not going to be a walk in the park. I want to ask you to join me and other women out there and other stakeholders out there to see it to it that this dream someday comes to fruition. I want to thank you for sparing your time to watch this channel. I want to invite you to watch our next episode as well. And I want to ask you to please invite one or two other women to watch it as well, so that together we can change the narrative of women political participation in Kenya and change it for the better. Till next time, bye-bye.